are back here at LashCast Studios. It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, but as you know, we are in a season of change. As we are going through this change, things are going to be a little crazy, but we're excited we're here today, and we're going to be talking about a couple, well, actually going to talk about two questions, because Tusney right now, if you don't know, Tusney, one of her things she's been doing just for fun and then became part of her job here is she goes on Lash Queens and loves to answer questions and talk to you guys.
What is Lash Queens, Precious? So Lash Queens is a Facebook group, and lots of people go on, talks about questions about, you know, what should I do if my client shows up with red, swollen, itchy eyelids? Or I've got a client that's misbehaving. Hey, what should I do? Should I fire them? I love this because it gives you an insight into the heartbeat of the lash artist. And yeah, so I love to answer these questions. So we've got two questions that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so we're going to go to those two questions. But before that, we thought we would talk about the Lashie Awards. Because guess what, guys?
It's Lashie Awards season!
Woo! We should have like horns, ding, 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 like whatever, Lashie fingers, whatever. Anyhow, so we want to talk about that. So if you've been following us and social media and going on LashCon, you know that usually July is the time of the year when everything takes off. This is when the Lashie Awards in full swing, and already we've been submissions opened on I think like a little over a week ago, and we've had the most submissions yet. It's been exciting to see the energy. People are jazzed. People are excited to be part of this. So I want to do is real quickly give you a quick overview of the dates and what's coming up. So it's not too late. You have plenty of time, and what the changes have made, because we've made some big changes. And then I would like to talk about why. Because I know some of you are going, not going to do it because I know I won't win.
Well, I think that it's a perfect opportunity because a lot of us work alone in a room, right? And it's hard to get recognized for what you do. Lashie Awards are a little bit different because you're not, well, we've got different categories and things like that, but this is an opportunity, if you do excellent work, for you to be recognized. And
before Tuss goes any further, because I don't think she's going to go the right way I need her to go right now.
All right.
We've made changes that I don't even know if Tuss is aware, to be honest. Yeah.
You're making decisions without me?
It's Christina. She's my last working wife. No,
yes, she's both of our wives.
Yeah, but she's both our wives. Anyhow, that's it. Let's get into that in a second. But before, let me just share the timelines and what is new and changed, and then we'll go into all the other fun stuff. So right now, it's currently open, and we will put a link in the show notes here. But if you can't find that, just go to the Lash Conference or at LashCast or Instagram, and in the link in the bio, if you go in there, you'll find a link to do that. Or if you want, you can go to the lashconference.com, and there should be by now a link on the main page that will take you to that. Or if you're on our email list, you should have gotten an email. Just search for Lashie Awards in your emails, and you'll see links there. Lots of ways to find us, lots of ways to sign up. And this year, it's all being done digitally. We're doing it through a new service that we just got that's going to help streamline it, make it a little easier. And so it's really, that's the big change, because on the front end, it's, well, it was all done manually. You filming yourself right now? What's going on?
I'm doing this for the gram.
Okay, she's doing it for the gram.
I'm filming this
She's
for the gram.
She's not vain at all.
Yes.
So we have that. So that's exciting because it's going to speed up the process of judging and make it a lot easier for our judges. And it keeps it completely anonymous. So there's no way for judges to see stuff unless you decide to put in there your name, which we tell you need to make sure your name, your company is all stripped from all descriptions. Everything's just to be about the value that you give, answer the questions and all that. So that's a big change. But here are the dates. Right now, it's currently open. The date that it wraps up when we have everything closes up is August 8th. So you have a couple weeks. Lots of time, but don't wait till August 8th to do it, because it's lots of questions. And there's lots of categories. We have 19 categories, guys. And so if you're going to do this, and you can't enter all 19 because there's the solo categories, there's salon owner categories, there's one for best lash brand, best lash trainer. Those are kind of individual categories. So if you go into that, you can't do everything, because obviously you're not probably a solo artist, a brand owner, a salon owner, and also, everything else. So
you never know. We do have some pretty fabulous people.
We do, but I can share this. You have to pick one, solo or salon. Okay. You can't do both. Yeah, so that said, there's 5 categories on solo, 7 underneath salon. And you're going to pick your category, and we'll get into that in a second. But August 8th is the deadline. And we're going to announce the winners a couple of weeks after that. Or not the winners, the nominees. That's the difference this year. In the years past, what we would do is have a certain threshold we needed people to meet. They did that. We gave them the award and we announced the winners ahead of time. Not this year. This year, if you're nominated, you're in the top threshold. That's your honor. That is the one thing you'll get. We'll nominate anywhere from 3 to 6 people per category. And if you're a nominee, that means you topped in the top, or top 3 or top 5 people. And that's your nominee. That's your honor. Only one person is going to win the top award for all 19 categories. And so we have our business awards like we've always had before: best lash retention, best salon design, best marketing, best customer referral.
What about use of technology?
Best use of technology. We have a bunch of them. So they're all business focused. We have those 5 for solo and 7 for salons. The 2 extra for salons are, best education program and best benefits, like who really takes care of their staff the best. So that's the 2 extra categories that salons get. But on top of that, we also have a whole bunch of other really fun new things that we added last year. We have Lash Artist of the Year. That's kind of cool. You get to upload photos of your work and explain about what makes you special, what makes you unique. Then we have New Lash Artist of the Year. That's someone that's been lashing 2 years or less. I know some people are like, 2 years is a long time. Not in our eyes. We've been in this industry 20 years. 2 years, you're kind of still a baby in our opinion.
Hey, don't knock it.
No.
Don't knock it. Everyone starts somewhere.
No. This wasn't meant no disrespect. We just had to draw a line somewhere, and we thought, you know what? 2 years, you're still in that really big learning stage. And at 1 year is when, or at 3 years is when I've been doing this more than 2 years. You're feeling a little bit more confident. So that's it. Best lash artist for 2 years or older. Anyone less than 2 years would be a new lash artist to apply. Then we have best lash influencer. So if you're really big online and you're making an impact and you're really blessing people, doing cool stuff there, you can apply for that. Best lash trainer, which is actually really cool. We have a lot of people. Last year's trainer who won, Sandra Lee, was shocked that she won because there were a lot of big names in that category, and I don't think she saw herself as being one of those, which was kind of sweet. Then we also have Lash Brand of the Year. This is the one I think is going to be a real fist fight this year because we're going to have...
It's going to be a knockdown, drag down fight, right? We got some great contenders.
Yeah, we have a lot of great people in our industry, a lot of brands, and this year they're all going to go out there and apply, I think, and we're going to see a lot, and we'll see the top 5 or 6 brands nominated. And then we have a new category that's really interesting. We'll see this. I'll be honest. I don't think we're going to have 100 entries for this. So
what is it?
This is best editorial. So editorial is very, very different. That's where you go all out. You have a photo shoot and you come up with a theme and you design everything around that theme. And you probably want to do hair, makeup, lashes, the whole shebang.
I want you guys to think of like the NAHA Awards. If you don't know what those are the North American Hairdressing Awards, and it's always put on by the PBA, the Professional Beauty Association. And every year, hairdressers, just like lash artists, we do the same thing day in and day out. Most people don't want to do crazy hair, right? But this is the one opportunity that you get to go out of your comfort zone and do something that maybe your average lash client is not going to be asking for. But you get to put your creativity and your imagination together and create something magical.
Yeah. So it's very different, and I think it's very creative, and it will allow some of you who want to go all out to do something really, really fun. So you do have a couple weeks to get together, so it's not a lot of time. That's why I don't think we're going to have a ton of entries. So if you have that ambition and you're like, no, I'm one of those creative types, I've always wanted to do this, just plan it and shoot it and go for it. Just make it happen. Don't wait. This is one of the things like our theme a couple years ago, shoot, ready, aim. Don't wait to make it perfect. Just do it.
The other thing I'm just chomping at the bit to say is that part of the refinement that you get as an artist is just the process of saying yes. Just saying, I'm going to do something that's out of my comfort zone. You might not be the winner, but the learning curve, the learning that you get from doing something like this is life-changing. So I'll share your story. I did my very first competition in 2014. Paul said, you're not going to win. You're not going to, not because he was trying to discourage me, but because the way that I do lashes is so different from everybody else. And honestly,
she does lashes wrong.
I do lashes wrong. And I thought this is going to be my great opportunity to show everybody how fantastic I am. Honestly, I did. I got a 0 on like almost all my scores, but that didn't discourage me. It did a little bit. But what I learned from it was basically the standard of how I do lashes now. Because when I was prepping for my model, I had her come back in every week. And I was watching how the lashes grew out. And how they grew out really informed me how lashes really wear. So I tailored my design and the basis of all how I do lashes basically on the feedback that I was getting from this one model. So it was life-changing for me. And the other thing was that it really stuck in my craw that I didn't win, but I'm like, there is more than one way to do lashes. So it became a rallying cry for me. It really did grow. I really did grow. So I encourage that for you too, because you're going to learn so much from it, whether or not you win or not. It's going to be part of who you are and who you become as a lash artist.
Yeah, and that's why please do not let the idea that I won't win be the reason why you don't. It's not a good reason, guys. This is a chance for you to really grow. The questions we ask are going to make you really seriously question everything about your business. Not in a bad way, but like, oh, wait, I never thought of that. Oh, maybe I should do that. Or maybe I should add that.
So when we first started applying for competitions with our salon, this was back to 2015, we decided to try out for the top 200 salons in North America. And at the time, there was, I think, only one other lash company that had ever won.
No one had ever won.
Oh, no one had ever won. Okay.
Only one other company's won once
Yes.
in the life of this thing. We later won 4 times. That was kind of cool.
But the point is that it hadn't been done before. And we're like, we're going to throw our hat in the ring. And the first time we applied, we did not win. But it was the process that catalyzed us, that caused us to grow. And out of that process, we learned how to think differently from the questions that were asked.
I mean, it gave me a to-do list. Like after I saw the questions of all the things that I wasn't doing or we weren't doing in the business.
Things that weren't even on our radar, right?
Yeah. So it made me rethink and go, okay, if we want a chance of winning next year, I was like, oh, we need to look at all these questions and go back and break it down. How can I answer these questions in a way that helps the business look good on paper, but also will make the business a better business that's worthy of being considered for awards?
Right. And so out of that, we did eventually win and continued to win. And we wanted to share that joy with our community because it was the hair community that we're playing in. And that honestly was the catalyst for LashCon and the Lashie Awards. So we grew a lot out of it. And I know that you can too. Take every opportunity that you can to throw your hat in the ring because you're going to grow.
Yeah. So another thing too, I know some people are like, oh wait, you could have 2 or 3 winners in any one category. And I get it, that's kind of fun, that's exciting, I think you have a better odds of winning. But this year we're gonna have more nominees. So in some ways, more people are gonna be able to be listed and seen on screen saying, look, here's the best people for customer service. And we'll have, let's say, 6 nominees. And you'll be in that list. So there's more chances to be seen, to be nominated, to be, since heralded. And then only one winner. So that is a big change, but we also think it's actually kind of fun and exciting to see that stuff. What we saw last year with the categories where we had nominees, people were screaming, people were jumping up and down, people were crying. It was really impactful and add a whole nother fun element. It's very much like the Oscars. And I think that's what people liked it so much is because it was like, oh my gosh, this is like magical. And we had red carpet and we had a glam bot and we had our 360 booth and we had all this fun stuff beforehand and afterwards. People got interviews by our social media team and we posted stuff. And this year we're going to even make a bigger deal. We're going to do a press release and we're going to really try our best to make sure that the world hears about the Lashie Awards and knows about it and that this will begin to help people build legacy so that when this is all said and done, you can put this stuff up, the trophies and the awards up in your salon and your people in your community are going to see that and go, wow, you're one of the best. Look at that. You're winning awards for being a lash artist. That's not something I thought was possible. So we're really going to try to make this special because we want this to be a thing that you all aspire to. And then for those who do achieve it, it's going to be a great kind of hopeful like tentpole in your life that like, look at this moment in my life. It changed me. And in fact, I've already seen that. I've heard from people who've won Lashie Awards who've said, it's changed my trajectory. Like I was just kind of going like this. And then I won the Lashie Award and it gave you that confidence. It also got you connections where people are coming up and shaking your hand and like brands and people want to know you. People want to see what your lashing's like. It changed everything.
Even if you don't win, just being part of the process gives you a little taste of what could be. And so the whole process is sharpening. The whole process is refining. The whole process is giving you fortitude and grit and strength so that you can better handle the things that come at you. I just want you all to experience how amazing this is because it's a third party, somebody outside your circle saying, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
And I want you to have a taste of that.
You don't have to come to LashCon to be entered. So if you're like, well, I can't make it LashCon, so I might as well not enter. No. Every year we have a few. We have like 18, 20 winners. Usually 2 or 3 can't make it. So, and that's okay. We will ship the trophy to you and still honor you online through social media and through our email. We'll make big announcements. So please do not let that be a reason not to join or to sign up because you can't make it. Don't worry about it. Still do it. Also, another thing is like, well, it's $75. Guys, $75 for the potential, like the upside for it is so huge. Like no matter what, even $75 you lose, you're going to grow and learn how to be a better business owner. And if you if you win, guys, I mean, $75 to be honored like that, tell me don't tell me that's not worth it. Like, is well worth it. So please don't let price be it. And then lastly, like we said, don't let the reason, there's no way I'll win. Like first off, you don't know that. You really don't. We won our first year at Strategies. It was a coaching company, won an award, and they told us to enter, and we said, no.
We're like, there's no way we're going, because we knew the fire that we were, it was a disaster.
Yeah, we had things that we're doing wrong, but we did one thing really well. Actually, there's one thing that our salon did better than anyone, and we won.
It was customer retention.
Yeah.
It was client loyalty, and we were like at 95%.
We people loved our salon. We had operations that weren't smooth about how we ran the business in other areas, but man, did we know how to do customer service like no one else. Like we rolled out the red carpet when clients came to our salon. People loved coming to us. So for that, we had high retention. And as a result, we won that actually twice in the years that we entered. So it's cool.
And so giving us a little taste of victory was like, we could do it. We can do this,
Yeah. So, all right. So that's all for the Lashie Awards. Do not wait. Do not delay. Get on today because it does take some time to answer the questions. They're not just, and if you please do not just go yes, no. I have a great salon.
That's the thing. Okay. A lot depends on the essay questions. So,
but it all depends on the essay questions.
So give it a lot of thought. Don't just fill it out really quickly. That's where the refinement comes. That's where the value for you comes, is when you're thinking about how you answer these questions. Now, you don't have to have perfect grammar. You don't have to have perfect spelling. You have to be able to articulate your ideas effectively. So that can even possibly be a growing opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really about the best written essay. I promise you. It's not about whoever is the best journalist or the best writer wins. No. It's the one who has presents the best ideas. So some people, it's better if they do in bullet points. Just really short to the point. Just explain it. It just has to be thorough. It cannot be really short answers.
Don't mail it in. That's what I'm saying. Don't just phone it in. We want to see some thought behind it.
Yeah. There has to be real answers about real things that your salon does. Our judges will sniff out the fakers and
or the AI.
Yeah, or the AI. Give us real thought. Make it literally authentic and real you. That's what they're going to look for. Someone who's being very honest, very straightforward, and tells the beauty of what you've built in your business. So, all right, that's all we have. That now let's get to what I think a lot of you probably were waiting for is let's get to the stuff that Tuss loves to do. That's talking about the lash industry and some of the things that we've been seeing lately online and answering, helping people work through some of these questions and challenges they have. So Tuss, go ahead.
Okay,
what's the first
so
one?
this question is from a gal who says, I have a client with extremely dry lids. Is there a product anyone knows about that she can use to moisturize her eyelids and not mess up her lash extensions? And so there's 2 things about this. There is the actual skin on the eyelids that can be dry, but then there also can be another cause of that, the dryness on the eye, which could be coming from the actual glands itself. So let's talk about both of those. We all know that we have little glands, the little Meibomian glands there. And if those are compromised in any way, they're not functioning properly. For example, those glands are designed with every blink to spread tear film over the surface of the eye. And we think of the margin and we just think of it like the skin on the back of our hand, but it's actually not. It's very, very dynamic. There's tiny little glands there, and with every blink, it's spreading that tear film. What happens if those glands get clogged? The oil or the tear film can't come out and be spread over the eye very effectively. So that begins to change the quality of the tear film. If they get capped over, it's just like having a buildup of dead skin cells. If it's not flowing properly, the oil can change itself. It's supposed to be like olive oil. It's supposed to be liquid and flowing. But if it gets back up and it's not coming out, it becomes hardened and more solidified. So I want you to think of like butter when it's in the refrigerator. It becomes hard or shortening. and it's not flowing very well because it's solid, right? Well, that's what's happening inside those tiny little glands. So you need to express it by either melting it by using a warm compress or using cleaning the lids properly. Now, we all know how important it is to clean your lids, and trying to get your clients to do that is a battle in itself. But it's really, really important because if it's not flowing properly year after year, it can really impact the health of your eyelids. One of the things that it can lead to is blepharitis. And there's 4 different kinds of blepharitis. There's 2 oily kinds and there's like 2 bacterial kinds. And it's not our job as lash artists to be able to decipher which is which, but they all kind of look the same. You look at the sclera of the eye and you can start to get a clue if it's kind of red. If you see tiny little veins in there, because it's the eyeball, the surface of the eyeball is supposed to be glossy, because that's what helps you see is that tear film. If it's not flowing from the glands well, it's not hydrating the surface of the eye very well. When that happens, you get a buildup of dead skin cells, and that creates another feast for Demodex mites or bacteria. And if it's imbalanced, those things can fester and they can proliferate, kind of like when you get a yeast infection, right? It's the wrong kind of bacteria or yeast growing in that environment. And so you can get things like overgrowth of Demodex mites or crustiness, and you're going in to clean those lashes and there's just crust in there. Or maybe you see like little white flakiness all around the surface of the eye. If the biome of the eye is not healthy, it can definitely lead to a dry eye. We see this in older clients where their lashes are really kind of short. The margin of the eye looks kind of thick. The eyeball itself is kind of red. They might be complaining of stinging or dryness or burning. That is all has to do with a dry eye or Meibomian gland dysfunction. So one of the best ways to solve that is to do a proper lid scrub. Now, you can use an optical cleanser. One of my favorites of all time is Aquaphor Platinum. I love it. There are other cleansers on the market. PLA makes one. It's called Pure, which is also ophthalmology tested, and it's made to be compatible with the tear film. I personally still love Aquaphor Platinum because you don't need to rinse it off. Pure, you still need to rinse it off. But what it does is it cleans the glands, it cleans all the bacteria off, and it helps the glands to keep flowing. And so you want to do a proper lid scrub, and you want them to do it like twice a day. Ideally, you can have them use a warm compress for 10 minutes with a washcloth. What that warm compress does is think about that hard stick of butter. It's going to melt the meibum in the glands and help it to flow out better. Now, even better is something like a product called NewLids. If you went to LashCon last year, you might have been introduced to it. It's wonderful. It looks like an electric toothbrush. And you put a new tip on for each client, and you just, for 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes on each eye, it basically gives a proper lid scrub, better than manually doing it, and it does it in the ease of 2 minutes. You use a little gel with it. I like to use the Aquaphor cleanser, and what it does is it oscillates. It doesn't go in a circle. It's not grinding the skin, but it oscillates. And what does that mean? Well, the Demodex mites that live in the eyelashes, they kind of feast on all that bacteria and dead skin cells, and they put their heads into the little glands, and their little tails are up. So that's what you're seeing when you see white stuff around each little follicle. Those are called little collarettes. And what the NewLids does is it's like an earthquake. The mites don't like it, and it just shakes them out. So it will completely like eradicate those mites and help to get them out of the little follicles, and it's going to clean them really, really well. The other thing that you can do is use a hypochlorous spray. Janice Luck, one of our friends, she makes one called Ithos. It's spelled EYETHOS, Ithos. It is eye compatible. There are other hypochlorous acid products on the market. What the hypochlorous acid does is it's biocompatible with our body. Actually, our bodies actually make this, and it kills viruses and bacteria. It's also what you can use for if you have infants to spray on high chairs because it's non-toxic. It's extremely safe, and the eyeballs really like it because we produce it. And so when you feel it on the eye says, "Ooh, this is a friend. This is a friend." So it really works very well with the eye. So using hypochlorous acid is super helpful as well. You want to make sure that that surface is super clean. That's going to help make sure that the glands are clean and you're stripping all the extra bacteria and all that gunk away. The other thing that you could do is if it's just simply the skin that's dry, you can always use like a CeraVe healing ointment, which is very similar to Aquaphor. The reason why I like CeraVe a little bit better than Aquaphor is because Aquaphor does have a lanolin in it, which can be a little bit irritating to those who are super sensitive. So CeraVe doesn't have that in it. But it feels almost like a Vaseline, and you can just simply put that on the surface of the eye and have your client do that at home. What that's going to do is it's going to soak into the top layer of dead skin cells called the cornea, and it's really going to help to hydrate that eye. But I would suggest doing a proper lid scrub. You can either teach them how to do it. You want to make sure that you get all in between the lashes. You could use that with the AccuSoft or the Pure Cleanser. You can use a warm compress. You can use NewLids. I use NewLids. I love it. I use it before I lash. I can charge an extra $25 for that service as well. And I really do see a difference with growth, especially with my Asian clients. It just magically works so well with them. They have an increased growth. They have increased reduction of sensitivity. So that's a fabulous way to nip that issue in the bud.
I think that's the most you've gone without me ever contributing in the history of LashCast.
I know.
I mean, we have episodes when we get done where I'm like, that was pretty much a Paul episode where I talk about business, and then when we talk about lashes, that's generally a tuss. But that one, I actually got work done. I was while she was doing her thing, I was like, you know what? I haven't posted on LashCast in a while, so I created a post and I did that while we were
So you were dipping out while I was waxing eloquent, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, because you're in your sweet spot. You know this stuff. What am I going to add to it? Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I've also tried and I've tested amongst all my clients. I mean, yeah.
Well, it takes two to drive. One's the driver, one's the passenger. Your feedback
I was a passenger
is welcome.
in that case.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
Fully riding, but I was in the back seat sleeping.
All right. Well, I've got one that
what's the next one?
Good for you. I think that you can help contribute to this one.
I do. I will contribute in huge ways. Okay. I will, in fact, fight you to talk more.
Okay, so here it is. This is from an anonymous member, and she says she's currently working in a salon that's doing 50% commission. Okay.
Yeah.
They supply everything. Although after being here, she's figured out that their products aren't very good. So she's now buying her own lashes and glue. The tweezers, which weren't supplied, were fine because she had her own and didn't expect them to provide that. But she's thinking about talking to the owner about a different commission percentage, but she's unsure what would be fair, or should she even ask about reimbursement or ordering for different supplies? She feels bad because she has so many lash products that are available to her, but they're garbage because the lashes aren't the proper sizes and the weights, and there isn't much that she can actually use. And some of the lashes aren't even labeled properly for what the contents are, and the glue is some random $15 brand. So she advertises and she markets for her own clients, but she's unsure how many are from her own advertising since they repost her posts on their Instagram. And she uses their booking system, which isn't the best, but she's not super experienced in multiple booking sites. So she moved to this new location with no clientele and a new state. And she's only working 3 days a week, basically 12 to 7:30 p.m. since she currently has to share a lash bed space with another tech. So she's still building her books and she's getting 1 to 6 clients a week. And she's been doing lashes for 7 years as far as experience goes. So it's been a struggle rebuilding her books from zero, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, obviously, when you're starting over, it's not a bad strategy, just as anyone listening or watching right now, to say, I'm moving to a new community. It's a lot more expensive to set up your own place and get all this stuff and have to start with nothing and be paying rent, right? It's not a bad idea when you move to a new location to say, I'm going to go work for a chain or work for a salon. That's I think, good. She was smart in doing that because they have a presence. They have hopefully known well. If you've done your research, don't apply for bad companies. But if it's been done well, you can build up your base. So that's great. I'm glad to hear that. What was your thoughts about this?
What I suggested is that because it's not like she's in a place where she can start out on her own because she's building. So I suggested that she just go ahead and supply the things that she likes to work with in order for her to do the best work that she possibly can. I would consider that just the cost of doing business. And as long as the owner is okay with that, if she's okay with her using her own products, that's fine. But I feel like you have to have the right tools to do your job well. And I like to use the products that I like to use. So I would just say, go ahead and buy them and see it as an investment. The other thing,
By the way, another thing too, you can look into, because a lot of brands now have retail programs or wholesale programs where they sell to regular buyers. I know PLA does, and I'm sure other, maybe some of the bigger brands do, but you can probably work at even smaller brands. You might be able to offer this. Say, look, I want to make you, for this, I work at a salon, and we exclusively right now are using someone else. We're using another brand. I would love to have your products used in our salon, but right now, if we pay full price, it's too much, and I can't do that. I like to come to my owner and tell him, my boss, that, hey, here's XYZ brand. I really like this brand, and they've agreed to give us 30% off all their products if we buy from them. So this way, you might be able to get your salon or your business, the place you work, to make a deal and switch over to a better brand that you really like versus like maybe they're buying off Alibaba, they're buying the cheap lashes. By the way, there are good lashes there too. I'm not gonna say that's all bad. You know, they're buying lashes that you feel like they're lower quality. Maybe the adhesive is more irritating or whatever. That's maybe one way you can work around this is, and then by the way, this is going to impress your boss because you're actually hustling. You're trying to cut deals. You're trying to help them make money, save money, and maybe up level their products. Maybe it'll cost a little bit more than what they're paying right now. But if the difference is like, oh, it's 50 cents or $1, but the quality is so much better. And in fact, maybe you share it with some of their staff and everyone's in agreement, like, wow, this is so much better. I really wish we could use this product. Maybe you can convince that owner to make that switch. That said, you need to do what's best for you. And it sounds like obviously you worked for yourself before. So I'm guessing that's where you're moving to go next. Like you're like, I'm gonna do this for a year or two till I get enough client and then I'm gonna work for myself. So that makes sense. And so for you, you need to not hurt your chances by using product that you don't like, right? You should find product that you like. And I don't think it's really appropriate, to be honest, to say, I should make my employer pay for it or reimburse you because they are providing you the products, and for them it's been good enough. Now maybe you're a little bit more skilled or a little more nuanced in what you like and what you don't like, so they don't understand that because sometimes owners are in lash artists. Sometimes owners are like, I just have a business. You're the lash artist. You get what I buy and tough. But I don't think that's wrong, and you're investing in yourself because truth is, in another year or so, you'll probably be off working for yourself anyways, right?
So one other thing I want to talk about is mindset with this. What I don't want to see happening is for you to become bitter if the owner doesn't go for it and you are having to provide for your own. I don't want that to hinder your relationship with this employer, because they are providing you clients and they are providing you 50% commission. So I want you to look at it as just a transition. You're using this opportunity for the time being, but I don't want that to dip your performance or your attitude in any way. I want you to use it for your best growth, right? And you're going to be most successful when you are approaching things with a let's try to meet in the middle. And if she's not, or if they're not going to meet you in the middle, I still want you to have a good attitude about it.
Yeah, I mean, let me just jump in on this because this is something that always bothered me. And I see people do this, and when they're employees, it's so easy to complain. Of course, it's not the way it is that you want it to be because you're not the boss. And when you are employees, sometimes you have better systems in mind. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you think you know better than everyone. Sometimes you don't. But you're an employee. So you took that humbling position to say, I'm going to go work for a place that's going to give me a salary in exchange for my time. And so, you know what? You made that choice. Now you can always change and leave, right? So the one thing that's really not productive is sitting around in a company and complaining and bitching and moaning. I remember this one, I've shared this before. I worked back in the 90s, way back, probably half of you were not born. And so I was working in a hotel and front desk, and I did not understand there's two things that would happen. If it was really slow, everyone would sit in front of, oh, it's so slow today. I'm so bored. I have nothing to do. Because the front desk, there's certain jobs to do, but a lot of times you're just waiting to check in clients. That's your main job. So they complain that it was too slow. Then it would get really busy at times where it'd be a big rush, especially early mornings when everyone's trying to get out to the airport and all that. And it'd be crazy busy. And everyone's like, it's so busy. I hate this. I'm working so hard. I'm like, which is it? You don't want to work or you do want to work? Like, I'm grateful for either. I mean, sometimes it's super fun when it's busy. Man, and it feels like you're in work for an hour and your day's done. And then there's days where it's slow. It's like, you know what? I could use a chill day. You know, today it was nice. I got to hang out with some of my fellow employees, got to talk about life, about their plans, got to know them a little better. So both sides have huge upsides, but this idea that I just like to complain, that's such a normal thing for our employees to be like. And I want to encourage you not to be that. If you're an employee, don't be that person. Don't be that kind of whining, complaining. Nothing's ever good. You're always looking for the bad in everything that you're doing. It just gets so tiring. As a fellow employee who's listening to all the time, it's not inspiring. If I'm working with you, I'm not gonna be like, wow, that person's amazing. She's going places. Like, I'm like, wow, she just likes to bitch and moan all the time.
I want you to look for opportunities where you can grow. And it doesn't mean that you like everything, but one of the things that I did, especially when I was working as an employee, I always had a journal. And I would just journal in this, just talk about what happened during the day, things that were frustrating to me, things that I would have done differently, things that I was unhappy about with decisions that were being made. But I kept it there so that I could reflect on it. I had an outlet for it so that I could see, you know, figure out, was I the jerk in that situation? So that I could change my heart about how I felt about things. But having the journal is basically kind of like your bitch buddy, because it's a safe place. No one else is going to look at it. And you can kind of reevaluate things. How would I have handled that differently? And it gives you an outlet to kind of track things. And that way you aren't expressing to your coworkers what a drag this place is. You're looking at it as seeing how you can solve the problem. And when you're looking at it that way, that is a skill that will take you no matter where you go, how you can problem solve, how can you think about things better.
Yeah, no. So hopefully that helps you guys first with the whole business thing. We did a little business, a little lashing today. That was kind of cool. We haven't done that, a double feature like that in a while. But anything else, Tess, you want to wrap up with? Or I think you're good? You're good? Yeah. Anyhow, guys, thanks as always for hanging out with us here. I want to just one more time, please, this is your year. This is the year you're going to apply for the Lashies and you're going to get that chance to be nominated. And if you get nominated, I want you to come up to me at Lash.
Or me, come up to me too.
No, okay, or come up to us. Either one. Come on and say, you know what? I wasn't going to do it, but I did it because you told me to. I just want to see, and it'll be like one person. But that's it.
That's okay. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
I'm talking to you. If you did it and you come up to me, I'm just going to give you a big hug and celebrate with you.
And yeah, I want to celebrate that you did this. I want to hear from you that you did it. I mean, we hear from you guys all the time at LashCon, but we're really excited. And by the way, LashCon is less than 3 months away, guys. That is scary and exciting all at the same time.
Okay, now I've got hives.
Yeah.
Got hives now.
No, it's crazy. We are less than 3 months away and so much to do. Can't wait to start unpacking even more of it. By the way, if you haven't bought a ticket, what are you waiting for? We have less than, I think, 30 VIP tickets. So we're almost sold out there, and we have plenty of standard tickets. So if you're on more of a budget, you can get there's $100 discount codes everywhere. Oh, by the way, one other thing we just announced. For those of you who are going to LashCon, or maybe you haven't bought a ticket, but you still want to come, you can do this too. We are going to pay you $50 for every person that you bring. So if you buy a ticket and you have some friends you want to bring along, you reach out to us, look for the social media or the email, and you can basically get a discount code that you can then basically give to your friend. And then you will basically save your friend $100. And then after LashCon's all over, we're going to pay everyone. And we're going to see who does the most. Who gets the most friends at LashCon? Hopefully you can make $200-$300 off of this. We're just trying to find new creative ways to give back to our community while also bringing more lash artists in, because we want this to be the biggest and most fun. And already we have almost 500 people coming, lash artists, and plus sponsors and plus volunteers, staff. So I think total we're around 850.
Are we going to have an award for the person who brings the most people in? We should.
Yeah. We'll make an announcement of something. I mean, the awards are getting paid the best, but we'll make a big deal about it.
They should have a crown.
Okay.
I think they should have a crown at LashCon.
Like Lash Bestie or something like that, because you bring the most friends, right? And you were helpful to bring more people into our community. Yeah, good idea.
I love it.
Tuss has ideas all the time. All right, guys. Well, as always, thanks so much for hanging out with us here today. We will be doing this more. We actually have a lot of interviews lined up with speakers and stuff coming soon. A lot of our people that are going to be at LashCon, so we're going to be talking to them, featuring them. So we can't wait to have that happen. But otherwise, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. We'll see you again real soon.